Welcome to the Knot Spot. I'm MoJo. Today I'm going to be teaching you guys the 4 basic knots of macrame. We're going to be learning the Larks head knot, the square knot, the spiral knot, and the double half hitch. Now let's get started. So the first knot we're going to be learning today is the Larks head knot. You can actually use any type of rope to create this knot, or even yarn if you don't have rope on hand. Now the first step to creating the Lark's head knot is to find your center point of your rope. So what we're going to do today is put together both of your ends, guide your fingers along the rope until you come to your center point. Once your center point is created, you're going to take this loop and you're just going to drape it directly over whatever you're going to macrame from. I am choosing to use a piece of copper piping today, but a piece of wood or dowel rod will work just fine. Once you have this loop in the back, you're going to guide the center strings through the loop, pull and tighten. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys that one more time. On a second piece of rope, I'm going to line up my two ends, guide my fingers along the rope until I come to my center point. Once I have my center point, I'm going to drape it over my piping and pull the center ropes through and tighten. And there you go. That's the Lark's head knot. Now that we all know how to do the Lark's head knot, we're going to go on to learning how to make the spiral knot. The spiral knot is very beautiful, and it's one of my personal favorite macrame knots to make. So when creating a spiral knot, you're going to actually use 4 strands of rope. The 2 strands in the middle are going to stay put. We're not going to use these strands. We're just going to be using the outer strands to knot around the 2 in the middle. So the first step is going to be creating almost like a number 4, where you're using the outer rope to just cross over the other 3, and it kind of creates this loop here in the center. Then we're going to take the other rope on the opposite side of the outside and cross it in front of our number 4. Then what I'm going to do is reach through this hole, and I'm going to pull the tail end of the 4th rope and pull it through, and then tighten. Pull it up nice and tight as you can get it. And then we're going to do the same process over and over again until we start to see our spiral begin to form. So I'm going to make my number 4. I'm going to cross over the 4th string in front of the number 4. I'm going to reach through the hole, and I'm going to pull the tail end of the 4th rope and tighten. Then I'm just going to keep repeating this exact same process over and over until my spiral begins to form. Now it usually takes about 4 to 5 knots until you begin to see the spiral, and of course the more you put in, the more you're going to see. Now, as it starts to turn, just make sure that you make note of whatever side that you started on, because you're going to want to start on the same side every single time until you begin to see your shape form. So this is the spiral knot. So now we've learned the Lark's head knot and the spiral knot. And we're going to move on to learning the square knot, which is another basic fundamental knot that you need to know to create macrame. If you guys are enjoying this video or finding this video helpful, please make sure that you hit the thumbs up. Now for the square knot, we're actually going to be using the same amount of strands that you use when creating the spiral knot. And you'll see very quickly that it is a very similar technique that we're using. We're just going to be reversing sides. Now for the spiral knot, what we did was we crossed over, okay, we formed our number 4. Then we took the last rope on the end, pulled it in front of the number 4, then reached through the loop that was created and pull the tail end of the 4th rope through and tighten. So this is a square knot is half of a spiral knot, and then the opposite side. So now that we created a number 4 going in this direction, Now we're going to use this rope and create a number 4 in this direction. And it's going to be the exact same process. We're going to loop this last rope in front of the number 4 that's crossing over. I'm going to stick my hand through this loop now and pull the end of the rope through and tighten. Then you have a square knot. Now I'm going to show you that again. So we're going to start off the same way that we did when we were making our spiral knot. We're going to cross the first rope, making a number 4 across the others. Then we're going to take the 4th strand, place it in front of our number 4, reach our hand through the loop to pull the tail end of the first string and pull through and tighten. Then we're going to go in the opposite direction, starting on this side, crossing over this way, making a backwards 4. Then we're going to take this rope and place it in front of our number 4, reach through the hole, pull on this rope through the loop and tighten. And there you have it. That is the square knot. So far, we've learned the Larks head knot, the spiral knot, the square knot, and now, last but not least, we're going to be learning the half hitch knot. Start on one side. I'm choosing to start on my left side, but you can start on either or. It doesn't change the process at all. This rope I'm going to use is my guiding string, which means I'm not going to be using this rope to tie knots with. I'm going to be tying knots on this rope using these strings. So whichever direction you pull this string in as you're tying knots around it is basically where it's going to stay. So I'm going to do this at an angle right now, which means I'll be holding the rope like this the entire time. So I'm going to start with the strand that is closest to it, which in this case it's this one. I'm going to loop it over my guiding string and it creates a loop in the middle, and I'm just going to pull and tighten just like that. So that's once, and we're going to do each rope 2 times. So I have my guiding rope again. I have the rope I'm tying around it. I'm literally just looping over just like that and pulling through and tighten. Okay, now I'm going to go on to my next rope, which is this one here. I'm still guiding this rope at an angle. I'm going to loop that over and pull through. It's a very basic knot. You're just repeating the same process over and over. I'm still guiding with this one. I'm looping that rope over and pulling it through and tighten. Same process. Now I'm using this last rope. I'm still guiding with this string. I'm looping over my guiding string and I'm pulling tighter. And each string, we're completing this process 2 times. So that's 1. Now I'm looping over again, and that is 2. Now I am going to show you this process one more time because I know this one's a little bit tricky. So I'm going to use my outer string again as my guide, okay? And I'm going to use these strings to tie knots around my guiding string. So I'm going to start with this one. I'm going to loop it over my guiding string and tighten. Pull it nice and tight. So that's 1. And now we're going to do it twice because each one we're doing twice. Loop over and pull and tighten. Okay, so now we're going to do that process one more time. I'm going to use this rope now here. I'm going to drape it over my guiding string, pull through and tighten. So that's once. We're going to do it again. Loop over, pull through the center and tighten. And for our last one, I'm going to loop over, pull through the center and tighten. Last step, loop over, pull through the center and tighten. And there you have the double half Hitch. Thank you guys for watching my video on the 4 basic knots of macrame, and thank you for hanging out with me here at the Knot Spot. There's endless possibilities of things that you can create using the exact same art techniques I've shared with you guys today. If you're interested in seeing the type of art that I create using these knots, be sure to check out my Instagram at the_knot_spot. And I will place a link down below in the description box so you guys can check it out. If you like this video and you found it helpful, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know that you liked it. Also, leave a comment down below. Let me know if you guys found this video helpful or if you plan on making something because of what you've learned here in this video. Thank you guys so much. If you want to see more videos like this in the future, make sure that you subscribe and hit the notification bell. Thanks again.